Hey, good morning. This is Martin, and I am a PPL over at ICE Helicopters. And yeah, we're post-COVID, post-lockdown, so a little bit of a while since I've flown the 66, and we're just heading off to see some friends for a bit of lunch over at to Weston. So my buddy Duncan is here, who is an ATPL on those dreaded fixed-wing things, and also a rotary pilot. So he's you know, safety in numbers, here to help. So we thought we'd just record this because it's quite useful. So I typically fly more so the 520 and the 44. So checklist out, which I've been through, but just quick run through: seat belts, fastened, doors. I've got mine open for the air conditioning right now. I've done the full and free already, full down, friction on, fuel valve, cabin heat, pitot heat, anti-ice is off. All the circuit breakers, I'm not touching up Duncan now, but the circuit breakers are all in. Rotor brake is disengaged, as good. Again, all these three are off. Everything is off. This is a turbine, so we don't really like to power up all the avionics until we've got the engine running. Hydraulics are on, and fuel pump we don't need. So kind of a couple of quick things really. It's fairly simple, but just to remind myself that I'm in a 66 here. I get in the habit of just kind of holding the stick here, just not a bad habit to get into, and double checking that everything is where it should be. So effectively it's battery on and enable, and then first thing we need to do is get the clock set ready.
Strange beeping.
We're getting some strange beeping noises from some of our Garmin equipment.
What is going on there? Is that you? Is that the...
Oh, okay. So that might
funky
be...
recording equipment? No?
Okay.
All the way in? Hello, hello? Oh. Doesn't like something? Oh, is that better? Oh, it wasn't all plugged in all the way.
Okay, so as you can see, we are also learning how to use the basics of a recording device. So I'll just pop these over my on so that we can actually hear what we're doing. Okay, so just to recap, I'm going to go back off again, so we do things in nice order. So it's battery on, enable. Strobe lights, I always like to leave them on, because if we leave them on, it means that if we've left the battery on and we walk away from the helicopter, we can see them. No real downside to that. Area being clear, and want to make sure that the fuel cutoff is definitely out and the throttle is definitely closed. A couple of things we want to look at. Okay, volts look good. This has got the lithium battery, so we've got no faults up there. And then the two key things we care about: that the MGT is below 150, which it's cool to that. It's a cold engine, so it is going to be. And the second thing is we're not going to introduce fuel until we get to that kind of smoothly rising past 14-15%, which is where they've kindly put a triangle on the more recent ones, similar to the little triangle you get on your car, which side the fuel gauges, which I only found out about a year ago. Okay, so everything's clear. Duncan's side, definitely the throttle is closed, definitely the fuel is out, all clear. So basically hit the button and hit the button. There we are. So this is all I care about right now. Below 150 now, we're smoothly rising. You can see we're now there, so I'm going to introduce fuel. I'm keeping my hand on this, blades are turning red, I see the corner of my eye. I can see the oil pressure is coming up already. The MGT has just peaked at 7. It's going to go again in a moment, and that's the bit that we want to take care of, because hot starts get very expensive. Okay, oil pressure's good. And that was a very quick start, 37 seconds to self-sustaining. Lovely. So effectively, fuel guard goes on. On some helicopters, you wait a minute for the generator, but not on this one, and avionics can go on. There we go. And now all the avionics are going to start doing their stuff.
Roger, break, Heli Golf Romeo, Roger.
Okay, so quick test of all the lights while the avionics are coming off. That makes sure all our warning lights are working, including the rotor brake. Everything is good, 65 to 70. We've got no ground power. Generator, we didn't put on straight away, so that's good. Avionics are on. Panel test we've done, and a nice little one is the anti-ice. So the anti-ice, which we luckily don't need today because we're not 5 degrees of visible moisture, is down here, and it has two things. The first thing it has is a little light here to remind you that it's on. But slightly more subtle one that's worth knowing is that it is going to increase the MGT slightly. So not easy to see today, but by putting it on, you're going to see, there you go, a little tiny increase. It's just a good little extra one. So we'll pop that off. I've got one ear uncovered. I can't hear anything that doesn't sound right. I just want to check I'm going to close the doors in a minute, actually. And then, effectively, I want to check the hydraulics. Now on those who know Robinsons, I mean, they're very light. I mean, this feels nice and light. So that's all working fine. If I just carefully switch off the hydraulics, I can still make them work, but effectively it's got that play and that much firmer thing. Before putting the hydraulics back on, just obviously do that very carefully, and hydraulics back on again. And now I'm going to effectively increase the throttle to flight. And the only thing is we're not going to dawdle in this little yellow area here, and at the same time we don't really want to be any more than 40%. So we're just going to, pedals neutral, get rid of that, and we're just going to gradually increase that throttle. And you always see that has this little flat spot moment, so you think it's not doing it, then suddenly it zooms ahead. So there we are at 30, we're through the yellow, so that's fine. We've not gone above 35%. You see now it's dropped right down, and then we just slowly open to 100%. So then everything is good. Now there's an unusual little thing about 66s, which is it has a thing called negative static droop, which sounds a lot more exciting than it is, but it just means that when we're sat here, you might be tempted to beep this N2 into the green, but if you do, you'll find yourself back above it as soon as we pull some power. So it's just a negative static droop. Everything else is good, and I just want to do a quick deceleration check to make sure that we get everything splitting correctly and we don't flame out. Okay, so there we are, everything's good, low RPM light came on, and we're in good shape. So now we can do exactly the same thing again. We can just wind that back up to flight. Again, not dawdling in the yellow.
190 degrees, 10 knots. Flight X-ray number 2.
And there we are back, and let's just give me a quick chance now while we're getting ourselves sorted out to get the airfield information, so just stand by 1. So, Elstree information, helicopter Golf India Charlie Echo Lima 214 radio check and information.